Hello, and welcome back to the Casual Fanatic. Today I'm doing another new type of video where I kind of want whoever starts watching, maybe this is something that I can log in progress and track for myself as well a long time. And that's, I want to just talk about my favorite 11. And this isn't necessarily a team that I think would compete or play at the highest level. I don't think this is a team that I would put to win the Champions League. It's just my favorite players in terms of the way they play, the certain characteristics and attributes they have that make them so satisfying for me to watch. And these are guys that genuinely pay money to sit there, get into the stadium, and just track them and watch what they do. And some of them I've already done that. And I'll also be talking about my favorite player of all time. Just quickly note on that. And then my favorite player currently, even though this might give it away. Starting off, let's start off with the goalkeeper. So with the goalkeeper, there aren't exactly a lot of exciting picks. So I kind of went with the goalkeeper I respect the most, and I think is the number one, and I think has all the right attributes for a goalkeeper. There isn't really much else to say about the goalkeeper in terms of why I like this or that. I like the character, I like the attributes, I like what he brings to the team. I like that there's no negative stories or news around him, and there's never a question about his ability. And that's Alisson. Alisson's, I guess, my favorite goalkeeper. Let me move quickly on. Well, the next position I'm going to move on is going to start to question this, but my favorite right back is Trent Alexander-Arnold. And that's just because I think he offers such a unique skill set that you just can't find anywhere else. And I think in the right system, with the right people around him, he can be so elite and so world-class. From a right back position, he can become one of the best creators, one of the best ball progressors. He already is one of those, with probably the best delivery in the world, maybe second to a De Bruyne. And that's so special. And I think he's someone that they have to capitalize on. And I know he will probably never leave Liverpool, but that would be something interesting to watch. If he left Liverpool, was utilized in the system, maybe he was a little bit more inverted, maybe he got a little bit in a kind of a Trent special role, where you don't want him completely central, but you don't want him completely out wide either. More in that half space in between where he can find those devastating balls, especially to a proper goal-scoring left winger. It would be very interesting to see. Now going into the left back. I'll be honest, this wasn't a position that I really had someone in mind for. It's more of a position where I was like, okay, what left backs I generally enjoy watching? I'm like, Stupinian is interesting to watch. I like watching Alphonso Davies play. I do think it's fun to watch, but he isn't exactly what I want because sometimes it's just that persistence to go forward, and you can tell he's someone who wants to play as a winger. He doesn't really want to be a fullback. So again, Alphonso, I couldn't put him, so I settled on Luke Shaw. I love the guy. He's been a great servant for my club. He's, well, maybe not great. He's becoming a great servant for my club. I rate him so highly as a left back when he is playing like this. Of course, there's been a lot of dips where he's been down and he hasn't been playing at this level. And it almost seemed like he needs everything else to be going right around him. And then he gets to that level. Luke Shaw is someone who really thrives off of stability and security next to him. And that's where my next favorite player comes in, which is going to make this look very biased, but I love him. Lisandro Martinez. Any United fan right now is putting him in their favorite 11. You cannot not fall in love with him. And this, I'm going to be completely honest. This is just bias. There is no, hey, I rate other defenders and this. I'm weighing them up and I still choose. No, I'm just biased. I love him. I love the spirit. I love the personality. I love the characteristics. And mainly, I think he is extremely unique in the skills that he has. For me, in my top 10 defender centre-back list in the Premier League, I put him 5th. But I think I was wrong already. I think he's proving me wrong. And what I was saying in the video was that he could potentially become the best ball-playing defender on this list. I think he is that. I think he has the ball-playing ability of a true like holding midfielder, that kind of level as a midfielder. And I think he turns like an attacker. He's someone that's so special in terms of the what he offers from the defense. The fact that he's able to come on in games like we saw against Leeds and change a game, that's special. As well as the fact that his timing for tackles is great. He throws himself into everything. He seems like a great leader. He's extremely adept and smart aerially. And I just rate him really highly. And then now the center back next to him, I would love to say again now my favorite 11 would be Varane, but now it looks like I'm making a combined Liverpool United 11. But no, someone I've genuinely fallen in love with this year by watching him is Kim Min-jae. I think has all the potential and ability to become absolutely elite. He is already delving into that. Could he be in the argument for best center back in the world right now? Especially on form, he's definitely in that conversation. I think we're seeing game after game the way he passes, the comfort, the recovery pace, the strength, the composure. He doesn't get dribble past. He's everything in his game is there. There is not a missing link in Kim Min-jae's game, and that's something that's so impressive to see in a centre back that's only just transitioned into the top level game. He just came from Fenerbahce. He hasn't had that time to be able to be there, but he's just fit into a system. And Koulibaly, who was Napoli's one of their best ever centre backs, leader, and been there for a decade, he's come in and already improved that position. That must feel really weird for Koulibaly. I wouldn't want to be Koulibaly because, well, he's a professional football player, of course I would. But Koulibaly is someone that he's now moved to Chelsea. He's now one that already been displaced by a 21-year-old. Had a horrendous time, and his legacy is being forgotten because they've gone in and improved him. So it's really not a great time to be Koulibaly. But that being said, Kim Min-jae is definitely in my favorite 11. Now going to this midfield, and midfield is my favorite position, and I'll always have such a love for anchor players, the holding midfielders, someone who's a tempo setter, someone who plays in between the lines, someone like I'm talking about different profiles, not just one, and someone who just understands space and timing and positioning so well, and that's where these three players come in. I think my favorite holding midfielder and center midfielder, and I'm going to count them as kind of a combination because I don't want to say one's a DM, one's a center mid, but Kimmich and Toni Kroos. Yes, they didn't end up actually succeeding playing together, but I don't think they had long enough and they didn't really match up in terms of peaks and primes. But I think those two are definitely my favorite players to watch. They're progressive. They're the elite of progressive passers. They're always composed. They always seem to have time on the ball. Kimmich maybe more as a on the ball as well. Is a little bit even more press resistance in terms of he can take a dribble. He take someone on. He can do ball carries as well. Toni Kroos, this is just the greatest passer of his generation. For me, the greatest midfielder of his generation. This man has set the tempo and understood the game and allowed for everyone else around him to thrive for over a decade now. There's a reason why he has only been a part of winning teams. This man the ability and prowess that he has does not allow him to lose. Does not allow him to be part of a losing team. He has been so essential and key for everything that Real Madrid have done. And you can tell the calmness and the security that he offers them. He's always an outlet. He's always an option. And the passing range that he has is really only rivaled by a few midfielders in history. And one of those is my favorite player of all time. A little hint for later in the video. But he strikes with both feet. He has great ball striking. His technique is special. His composure on the ball, his one-touch passing, the way he understands space, the way you see, if you watch him, the amount he scans, it's always alert, always awake. And he can always find the right pass, and he can always pick that pass. No matter how much space the other player has, he can find them. And especially with his long passing delivery. It's special. It really is. And that's why I've always loved and appreciated and admired Toni Kroos. Kimmich for similar reasons as well, and the way he's seamlessly been able to take over from legendary players. And I think he's been able to even improve certain aspects of that kind of role for Bayern. And I think he's someone that probably won't leave Bayern, but if he ever does, that would be someone I think every club in the Premier League should rush to try and sign, no matter what the price tag is, even if it's, I think he's not even that old. I think he's 27, 28 right now. You'd get a couple great years from him, but I just don't think he ever leaves Bayern. It's just not realistic. I don't know why they would ever let him go. He's easily the best holding midfielder in the world for me. Maybe not as much. The defensive side is there as well. Like I was gonna say, maybe not as much defensive because you do have a Casemiro's defensive ability is higher, and that is true. But Kimmich is no slouch. Now going into the last midfielder, well, maybe I should leave that, and you'll see why. But my wingers and my striker, my right winger, he's not a right winger. I know that before anyone comments that or mentions that, but I had to bring him into my list because I've loved him for so long, is Federico Chiesa. Also, another thing I don't think I've mentioned that yet on the channel is I support Italy, and I always have. This is again another hint for who my favorite player is. But Federico Chiesa, I love him. He's direct. He's aggressive. There's no fear in his game. The injury, I haven't been this hurt from an injury in a long time. This injury truly broke my heart because I was like, I hope this is not the injury that pushes him off the trajectory that I think he was on, which is becoming another one of those elite attackers. I think he was on that trajectory, on that path. Yes, he's had a little bit of a slow regain right now for Juventus, but you're coming back from an ACL injury. It's going to take a while to regain that if you do. And a lot of the things he was reliant on was the pace and directness that he had. I hope he doesn't lose that. Still think he has a great technical ability to create, to score. He has an eye for a goal. He has a great strike on him as well. I do think he will still reach certain heights. Maybe not if he's lost too much of that pace. But I love watching Federico Chiesa play. He is exceptional. Now, my left winger, I want to give an honorable mention to Rafael Leao. I think he's someone who's destined to be one of the world's best. He already is one of the world's best as a left winger. There really doesn't come much better than him in terms of the profile that he has. But I do want to say that I have someone that I prefer over him, but he is somewhat special, and I do love watching him play. Now, my favorite left winger, and one of my prouder scouts, let's say, before he joined his current team, Kvishka Kvaratskhelia. I hope I'm saying his name right. I did travel to Georgia, and I did hear them saying it, and I tried to repeat it after them and whatever, but it didn't. It's still one of the toughest names in football. But he's a special talent. He really is. His ability to carry the ball, the fact that he's 2-footed, his eye for a goal, his eye to create, he strikes the ball so purely and so well in all parts of his foot. Like a lot of times you'll see a player that really prefers the instep, really prefers outside of his foot, really prefers the laces, and when they play on the other foot, Kvaratskhelia will play inside, outside, on the laces. He uses all parts of his foot, all parts of the game to his benefit. And he has a really unique style of dribbling and attacking the ball. And I just love the way he plays. I love the attitude around him. And I think he's destined to be special. I think he's already proven to be a special signing right now. This early on. And he might go and win a Napoli league title. I'm not saying it's only him. Of course, the whole Napoli team has been immense. But I think he's a huge part of that. And he's kind of really sparked that into life. Especially the way they kind of needed that, someone who's going to be the poster boy of the whole project. I know right now Osimhen's goals are being talked about a lot, but we know that right now Kvaratskhelia is still the poster boy of this Napoli team. And the Kvaradona nicknames, it's amazing to see, and I love the fact that everyone is now talking and hyping up a player that I've rated so highly from the summer, and I think he's a special talent, and I think he'll be so good for Napoli until he moves on, and then wherever he goes, it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be dangerous, and I'd love if he would come to United. I do have a fear that it might be a City kind of player, and that would hurt so much if he is a City player. Let's hope he doesn't become that. Now going to the striker. The striker, I think right now the world in general has a lot of solid strikers that have a good base that you can build on, but there aren't, because we had this generational gap where kind of the players between the ages of, I'd say, what, 26 to 32, you really didn't have a generation that produced a lot of the elites, because a lot of the generation even before that, so the 33 to 38, they stuck around for so long. You're still seeing all of them play. You're still seeing all of them at the peak. And some of the guys in that generation are now already starting to retire. Players like Bale, Hazard, they're already starting to retire. Sanchez, they're all starting to retire. Ozil went, all of them have gone. And it's like, what happened with that generation? And it's almost because they were in the shadow of the previous one. And now you're going to start to transition into that younger generation. I think the talent and level that we're seeing coming in through the next generations is special. It's so high level. The technical quality, the understanding of the game they have is so far beyond the other generations and previous eras of football have had coming into the game. And that being said, my favorite striker is none of that. My favorite striker is, he's 26, he's gone through the ranks in England. It's Ivan Toney. I just love the way he plays the game. I love the unnoticed and like kind of like secret kind of underrated technical ability he has. This guy can pass, he can play on the ball. His passing ability on the transitions is great. Because he's not just someone, don't get me wrong, he wins aerial duels like it's nobody's business. And he's able to contest everything, and he's a very, very solid finisher. But what he also is, he's someone you can really play off as a target, as an anchor for your attack. He can create, he can find passes, and that's why someone like Mbeumo has been able to thrive so well. That's why, look, if we don't get a Kane or Osimhen for United, I would love if we'd sign an Ivan Toney. He'd come slightly cheaper than them, and I think he would really get Marcus Rashford to a whole nother level. I don't even know if that's possible, because Rashford's on track to score like 35 goals all comps. So I don't even know if that's possible, but I think he would unlock that. He would keep it playing, and I think he would also offer his own goals. I think he would be a great signing for United, and I love watching him play. He's fun. It's a great striker to watch. I love his personality. That being said, it is worrying, the whole betting case, and that he might end up being suspended for God knows how long. Now, the last player I didn't talk about, and my current favorite player in the world, Pedri. Pedri is just beautiful to watch. He's a real gem, and Barcelona have fallen on another guy. A lot of people think he's a product of the academy and he's gone through. No, he was a signing. But whoever ID'd that did a fantastic job, because now you've just addressed. I hope. No, I don't. Because I really do have found a new level of respect for this club, and because I don't think, regardless that he's going to be coming to United at any point, I hope he stays at Barcelona for his career, and I think he will be the best in the world for the next decade. I think he's already moving into that category of being in the conversation for the best midfielders in the world, and I think he'll be that for the rest of his career. He's a special talent. His understanding of timing, space, and when to release a pass, when to take a dribble, his close control, ball control, his technical security is world-class, generational. His eye for a pass, the way he makes decisions, it's all perfect. And I love watching him play. Like when I was watching the Spain-Germany game in the World Cup, that's all I was watching. When I was at the United Belgium game until he got injured, that was someone I'm watching and I'm like, wow, this kid's special. This kid is so special. And I just tune into Barcelona games and just sit there and watch him play. And he's someone I just can't get my eyes off when I'm watching him. His scanning, his awareness, his intelligence as a footballer is special to see at such a young age. And there's no, you don't even hear transfer rumors about him, because you know that Barcelona would never let this guy go. And if they do, that is the dumbest decision ever. This is the building block of the next Barcelona great team. And that's why I love Pedri. I just love watching him play football. And I think he's my favorite player in the world right now. Now, I don't know if you guys have been waiting, if you even care, but my favorite player of all time is Andrea Pirlo. Andrea Pirlo is just beautiful. He's special. He's the most elegant, gifted midfielder I've ever seen. His ability to play with both feet, his understanding of space, timing, the way he can wait a pass doesn't even make sense. He'll like fizz it in, but the ball kind of like just die and allow the player to have just seem like the player is having a deft touch, but he's played with some absolute like I don't want to talk bad about some of the players that I've that have been part of successful teams for like Italy and Juventus and AC Milan that I've enjoyed watching, but not the most technically gifted players. He's made them look like they have first touches of Berbatov because of his passing ability, the way he cushions it for you, the way he's able to create. His tempo control is something I actually haven't seen anywhere else. His ability to speed up, slow down, to always seem like it's almost like there's a spotlight around him, and just everything else is just rotating and moving around him, and he's just that beaming light where everything is flowing through him. Defensively, offensively, everything is just going through him, and he's just controlling the entire thing, and everyone's heads are just turned on a swivel to look at Pirlo. His scanning, the fact that he never has to run, he never has to break out of stride, he's always in his comfort zone. That's because it's all done through his mind. And that's something that's just beautiful to watch, and that's a part of football that I'll always appreciate more than anything else in the game. As much as a dazzling run and a strike into the top corner is amazing, there's nothing that I will ever appreciate more than someone like that. Can go on for so much longer talking about the accolades and the amazing parts of Pirlo's game, but this video is about my favorite 11 and not my favorite player. So this is my favorite 11 right now, as of what's today's date? February 26, 2023. Wait, is it February 20? Yeah, it is February 26. February 26, 2023. This is my favorite 11. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want more videos like this where it isn't as much objective opinions and analysis on games. It's more so my takes on things, the subjective part where I love these guys, this is who I enjoy watching, and it's a more personal video, I feel, as a football fan. And let me know what you think about the players. Let me know who your favorite player in the world is right now, and see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.